So they want to do and look at how to create tasks using IXLCORE. IXLCORE has the capability of creating tasks on a project, but can also create tasks from a client perspective or from a client. Therefore, we can create tasks from a client, and we can also create tasks that are tied to any lead that is within the system. So back to the customer, whichever customer we opened, and we have a task that we want to do on a particular customer. So let's say ABC Company Limited. We can go to ABC Company Limited. And in ABC Company Limited, we can see these tasks to be done. Therefore, we are able to go to the tasks and are able to create a new task on this client. So the task can be billable or public. When it's public, everybody can see the task that is within the system. If it is not public, it can only be seen by the person who's assigned to that task. Then that task can have a subject. Let's say we want to create emails for a client. This is not, because tasks can be charged or not chargeable, but you can leave that one as it is. The start date is today, and since it's a minor task, we sort of complete within 24 hours, or depending on the organization and what are the policies, you can. If it is a priority, you're able to highlight and say it is a high priority or a medium priority, or depending on the priority of that task. And it's only selected if we're going to be doing it every other time, every other month. But if it's once that we don't need to pick on that. This task is related to a customer, and the customer is ABC Company Limited, since we have created it under ABC Company Limited. The task now can be assigned to our staff. So I can assign it to any of these staff and say this task can be assigned to the staff, and everybody here will be informed of the task. Task can have a follower and say this person now follows on the task. What is the description of this task? The description of the task is client needs the following emails. You can say info, you can say admin, and you can say maybe sales. And with that, you submit a task. What has happened is that we've created a task that needs to be done on that particular client and on the activity of the client, and that task is registered and with the in progress status for that client. The person assigned will come and do the task and be able to open it. But as for now, we are going to see that when we look at the client, we see the client has one task pending, and that task is in progress, and the priority of that task is high. So it is important we realize how to set that task. We go to the client and set the task. However, we can also come and look at tasks on the site. These are tasks, and this gives us a view of all the tasks that we have. We can have a Kanban view of the tasks. That Kanban view is a task view of all client tasks that we have, where we've assigned roles and responsibilities. All tasks that are in progress will appear here, and we can see create emails for a client. The task that we've just created is here. So from this, we can also create a new task, and same process. Say we want to develop or respond to clients as a task, the due date of that task, when it must be done, we pick the date, whichever date it is. The priority can be medium or it's a low priority item. Then you assign that to the particular task person you want them to see. Then a follower of the task, and then you're able to say, please talk to the client and understand what he wants, or whatever he wants that. Sorry, I hit by mistake, but that is how you set your tasks here on that point. You create the task, you analyze the task, and assign the task to the person who needs to be assigned. We can attach documents if there are documents that are there that needs to be attached. photos or anything to that client, we can make attachments to that particular task. By opening the task, if there are documents that need to be added, you click here and you add whatever documents that need to be added up for that particular task. And that will be available whenever whoever is doing the task will be able to download that project document and be able to see what has been or that's been done. Once the task has been done, we can just record a timer. That means starting the timer. For the timer to start running, the hours are counting, the minutes are counting, and when we finish the job, we say stop the timer. Stop the timer. If there's a note we have, we put in the note and then save that as a note that the timer or the work has been finished. This will create, the timer will create the timesheet on when we started the project. Because we just started it in 0 and didn't take long, it is 0, but it records the time when it started and that. So we can see the statistics of that timesheet, what was happened, because there's nothing happened. Otherwise, we would have seen the statistics on that task. Once the task is complete, we click on the tick to put and mark that task complete and be able to move out from there. When you mark that task complete, whatever task we finished, then it comes and say we've completed the task to the end, and then it moves to completion. So we're able to have all the tasks loaded and move to the category. If you're waiting feedback from a client, then you're able to identify that on whatever task you're dealing with, which is complete. Whatever task we have that is not complete or needs to be moved, it's a complete task, and therefore the task is completed. Somebody knows that that task was completed. If it's developer proposal, we are talking about that task. The status of the task is there. Status is actually in progress. We can't change the status of that and say we are awaiting feedback. That means we are waiting for the client to give us additional information, or I can place my comments there on what I'm expecting. So I have asked the client for a logo. So when I come and check that comment, you know what we're expecting from the client and why that project is on hold or awaiting feedback. So that's how we use tasks in IXLCORE to manage tasks to clients, task to staff. And when you have that, we manage that to that for staff. Then we'll have staff or tasks awaiting feedback. So task awaiting feedback is year 1. We've just moved it now, and I can see there's a comment on why we have it there. So that is how we do setting up of task in IXLCORE. Thank you very much.